I had a copy of Ebony magazine at work. I was working up the street at Amoco Oil. And the girls was around the water cooler talking about, oh, he is fine. Look at this. He was one of the most eligible bachelors in the country at the time. He was working for Xerox Corporation, was the first. I read his whole bio. And after I finished, I said, his office was right up the street. And I looked down there and I made one of the worst decisions I ever made. I said, I'm going to get him. Okay, the good thing that came out of it was
Thank you. I'm like, I'm sitting over here. I'm a product of her worst decision, and I'm the best thing that's happened in her life. So why can't that be the best decision? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, for real, all jokes aside. So I go down. I was very aggressive when I was younger, and I was gorgeous. So I got away with a lot of stuff. And I sat in that office and waited on him to come out. I said, there he is. I sat out there for 2 weeks. I said, there he is. So just as he comes walking out to go get in his car, I get out of my little red sports car and I walked up to him and I dropped my purse on the ground. And just as I dropped my purse, I pulled his sock down. As I went to pick up my purse, I pulled his sock down. He said, what the heck? And then he looked at me and he said, oh my God. I got my car. I took off. Then he ran me down. We were married and I think I was pregnant. It was a fast move. We had been knowing each other 9 months. I was pregnant with you, and you were due to be born in September, which you were, of course. And then we stayed together for about a year, and I left him 3 times in the first year because he tried to control me and all those other things. And then what happened that really was the straw on the camel's back was that he hit me. Now, bear in mind, I came from an abusive relationship with my mom and dad, and so as a direct result of that, I kind of don't take lightly to men hitting me. And I have a tendency to overact. You know, if we're arguing and you do like this to scratch your head, well, I've usually already, overreacted in some physical way or another. And so, I've often said I'm not taking no ass whippings by no men. My mother took enough, and I meant that. I'm not one that's going to end up in a battered women's shelter. I've often said that you may end up in a morgue, but I'm not going to end up in a battered women's shelter. I take no ass whippings. And if anyone thinks they're going to do that, I would highly recommend they think a little bit harder. So I've worked
that
on
was
that.
that was the straw. Okay.
He jumped on me. And that was it.
Was he abusive to other people?
Absolutely. Every woman he'd beat him up. Absolutely.
Was that just a thing back then?
No, I don't think it was a thing. I think it was a thing with alpha males who really were truly possibly betas, but they wanted to flex. And so their best way of flexing was by preying on the weaker sex. I never knew of your father ever getting into a fight with anybody. But he'd fight a woman with a quickness. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look back on that too. I look back on a lot of things people did or do is because of things that they went through. I can be more compassionate and empathetic with people today that have a lot of major faults than I could have been before.